Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today's tutorial is going to be about this multicolored wrap dress, and you can see that it's looking so beautiful. So I'm going to be taking you step by step on how to make it. So it has an half circle flay, that is a 180-degree flay starting from the half length to the hem, and the sleeve is a puff sleeve and is a wrap dress. So you can see that it's looking so good. So please do well to subscribe, like. If you have any question as we go by, please drop it in the comment section. And if you're ready guys, let's just get into the video. So the first thing you want to do is to create a dartless block, both for the front and the back. But if you want to put a dart at your back, you can just add that, but for this I won't be putting a dart. So having done that, the front block is going to be a full block, while the back block is going to be a half block. So for the front, the neckline for the front is a V-style line. We'll go down by 7 inches from the shoulder, then we'll connect it like a slant back to the shoulder line. Then having done that, we are going to cut it out. So go ahead and open the full block for the front. Then having done that, you go outward with about 4.5 inches starting from the center front. You go outward with 4.5 inches. So this is going to be the wrap dress extension. Then having done that, we go up with 2 inches from the point we mark out, just like I'm doing. Then having done that, we rule the 2 inches out. We connect it back to the neckline and we just cut it out. So the front block is going to be a 4x4 if you are using a lining to turn it inward, but for this I'm going to be cutting it in 2 places, and that is because I'm going to be using a facing instead of a lining. But if you want to make yours, you can just choose to use a lining. So having done that, I'm going to use the same pattern I've drafted out for the back. Then I'm just going to go ahead and place it on the fabrics to cut it out. So having cut out the first panel of the front main bodice, the next thing for me to do is to cut the facing. And to cut the facing, we will make the right side of the main fabrics face the right side of another fabrics. Then using the neckline, we go ahead and just cut out the neckline. Then having cut out the neckline, we take away the main fabrics. Then we measure the width of the facing. For this, I'll be using about 3 inches. Then I'll go ahead and connect it just like I'm doing. We connect it, then after doing that, we cut it out. So this is how the facing is going to look like on the main fabrics after turning it inward. So having done that, we'll take the second fabric, that is the second fabric we intend using for the other part of the panel of the front. Then we go ahead and place the first fabrics on it. We use it to cut it out. Then also the same thing, the facing of the first one to cut the second facing of the second one. So this is how the front is going to look like after intersecting each other. So note, the reason why we are using 2 fabrics is because multicolor wrap dress, so it's going to be 2 different fabrics on both the right and the left. So the next thing to do is to go ahead and use the back pattern to cut the fabrics, and also for the back as well, we'll go ahead and cut the facing, just like the way it's appearing by the camera. So next, we go ahead to cut out the belt. So the width of the belt is going to be about 4 inches because it has to be bold. And for the length, you can use starting from about 35 inches because it's going to cross round the waist, depending on how big or how tiny the waist is. So just make sure that the belt is long enough to be able to be tied and it can still drop like after tying it. So we take the other fabrics and cut out the second belt. Remember, we are using 2 different fabrics for this wrap dress. So the next thing for us to do is to cut the lower part of the wrap dress, which is going to be a flay. So for this, we are going to be cutting the back separate and the front separate. So for the back, go ahead and fold it into 2, just like I'm doing, because it's a 180-degree flay. Then having done that, we'll fold it again like a triangle. So after folding it like that, we'll take our back block, then we'll go ahead and measure our waist circumference. So for this is about 7.5 inches, excluding the seam allowance in which we are going to use to join it to the front. So we are going to take that out. Then having done that, we'll go ahead and place that circumference on our flay just like I'm doing. If the first circumference in which you mark out is too big, you can reduce it until you get the desired circumference. So having gotten the desired circumference, the next thing to do is to exclude the half length measurement. Then we'll go ahead and take the actual length of the flare of the dress. Then having done that, we'll mark it out just like I'm doing, then we'll cut it out. So like I said earlier, the front is going to be cut separately from the back. So for us to cut the front, just go ahead and fold the first fabric, that is the first fabric we are using for the front. And having done that, we consider the circumference of the front. Remember that the front has a wrap breast extension of about 4, so it's going to be wider than the back. So having cut out the first one, we're spanning on the second fabrics to cut out the second fabrics, and this is how it's going to look like, just like the way it's appearing by the camera. So the last thing we'll be cutting out is the sleeve, and the sleeve is a puff sleeve. So we'll be adding like about 4 inches allowance to it instead of about 8 inches for the width of a normal sleeve. So we'll be using about 11 inches. The sleeve cap is going to be 4 inches. Then having done that, we go ahead to connect our shoulder slope. The length of the sleeve is about 11 inches plus the hemming allowance. So the same measurements we use for the width of the sleeve at the upper part, we repeat the same thing also at the hem. Then having done that, we are still going to use an elastic to pull back that. So we just connect it back to the armhole, then we cut it out. So we place the first one on the second fabric to cut out the second puff of the second fabric. Remember, we are using 2 different fabrics. So having done that, we are done for the cutting. So for the sewing, the first thing to do is to go ahead and stitch the neckline of the facing to the main fabrics of the back. After stitching it, we'll go ahead to place lunches on it, then we turn it to the wrong side. So to finish up that side, we are going to be using an hemming gum to just secure it to the main fabrics. So before stitching the facing of the front to the main fabrics, we have to stitch the belt. So just go ahead and stitch the belt, connect the belt, make the belt curve, stitch it down with just about 1 cm. Then having done that, we use something comfortable to just bring out the belt. So bring out the belt, then after doing that, we are going to be stitching both the belt and the facing of the front to the front. So just like the way I'm doing by the camera, make the belt face the right side of the first fabrics, put on the facing on it, then go ahead and stitch it to the neckline of the front. So we are going to repeat this process for the second panel of the front as well. So this is how it will look like after stitching the facing with the belt, and you can see that it's looking so nice. So the next thing for us to do is to go ahead and join the shoulder of the back with the front. You just go ahead and join them together. So after joining the shoulder and turning it to the right side, the next thing for us to do is to go ahead and attach the sleeve. So because it's a puff sleeve, it's going to be having pleatings around the direct shoulder line. So I'm just going to go ahead and stitch the sleeve to the main fabrics. So for you to do this, ensure that you have already you are sure that your armhole is well curved out and is perfect. So there is a lunge at the center sleeve in which is going to guide me to be able to do the pleatings. So just like the way it's appearing by the camera, I went ahead to just pleat the puff around it. Then I stitch it down to the second armhole, and I did the same thing for the second part of the sleeve. So having done this, the next thing to do, I just folded the hem of the sleeve. Go ahead and fold the hem of the sleeve, and you can choose to do this even before putting the sleeve, either ways. So after folding the hem, we just go ahead and input our elastic. When it's about to go inward, we secure the elastic with the main fabrics. We pull it out at the second side, and we make sure that we pull it to our desired arm circumference, ensure that it's properly okay. Then we go ahead and stitch it to secure it. And the same thing we did for the first sleeve, we repeat the same thing to the second sleeve. So this is how it looks like after attaching the sleeve, and you can note that also the sleeve is also matching the front panel of the wrap dress, so it's very important to do that as well. So after doing that, the next thing for us to do is to join the main fabrics all the way into the sleeve and back to the hemming of the sleeve. So we'll join both sides of the upper part of the wrap dress. So after doing this, you can just go ahead and confirm your measurements if they are accurate. Then after doing that, for us to be able to pull out the belt at the other side, we take our tape rule, then we go up by the second seam, the second side in which the belt is going to pull out through. We go up with about 1 inches. Then having done that, we go up again with about 2 or 1.5 inches. Then we'll mark out those lines. So having done that, we are going to make a reverse stitch at the 1 inches and the above 2 inches. So after doing this, we are going to lose up that place, and that place is where the belt is going to be passing through. So having done this, we're just going to go ahead and fold it, then just stitch it down for the belt to be able to be easily passed out, just like the way it's appearing by the camera. So this is how the belt is going to go in at the second panel, and with this we are done with the upper part of the wrap dress. So the next thing for us to do is to work with the lower part of the flay. So for us to do that, we are going to go ahead and join the 2 front panel to the back. So we are going to join it by the side. So after joining the front panel to the back of the flay, the next thing for us to do is just to kind of calculate the waist measurement and ensure that it's corresponding with the flay. So having done that, we are going to be stitching the lower part of the flay to the upper part, but before doing that, we are going to fold the right side, that is the tip of where it's going to overlap each other. We fold that inward. We're going to stitch it. We're going to fold the hem. Then having done that, we're going to just go around. We're just going to go ahead and stitch. So we just go ahead and stitch the lower part of the dress with the upper part. Then having done that, ensure to tape the hem, and that is all for the sewing part. Thank you so much for watching, guys. So to finish up the facing, I'll just go ahead and use an hemming gum to tape that down to make it very neat. So just use an hemming gum to secure the facing with the main fabrics, and this is how it's going to look like. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you have been able to learn 1 or 2 things. Please do well to subscribe, like. If you have any question, please you can drop it in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in my next video.